What is up, everybody? We are going to get some guests on. BK had a little thing to do tonight, so it's just me, your boy Greg, man. Let's get this going. It's going to be divisional. The divisional round is over, and the championship round is getting ready to begin. I'm going to have to play homage tonight, y'all. I'm going to have to play some homage. I'm a 90s guy, 90s kid, so I'm going to have a little background noise if y'all don't mind, man. I have to give my guy Coolio some love, man. He died this week, man. We're gonna have a little music in the background all night long, man. Have to do it. Shout out to my background, man. It's what I grew up in. So, man, I'm excited about games, guys. I'm gonna give you some give you a little bit of background, see what's going on, man. We've got two big games, and the winner obviously goes to the KFL championship. Out of the North, we've got the Maulers. Big win against Granite State, going to Indianapolis and making that long trip. And man, it's going to be awesome. Awesome. Here we go. TP, what's going on, big man?
What's up?
Man, welcome. Welcome to KFL tonight, man. Let's go.
Are we jamming?
We're jamming. I got a little Coolio in the background, brother. Got it. It's going to run all night, man. So it's going to be good. So,
Rip Coolio.
Yeah, man. We're repping the Coolio, man. So, hey, man, big games going on, man. Big games going on. The Final Four, they all get paid, dude. That's a big deal, right?
It's about what, 12 weeks ago, and here we are with 4 teams left, and 4 teams. They're all getting paychecks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very deservedly so.
100%, man, 100%. So, before we get into the games, Todd, let's talk about the season as a whole. Where we got here, how we got here, and all that other stuff, man. Like you said, it started about 12 weeks ago, man. Actually, basically since last year is when we put it all together. But the season up and down, man, up and down. Lots of surprises. Lots of teams started out slow early, like the Maulers, and came on late, and then you had some teams that start off strong, like the Warhawks, and then faded late, man. It's been a tale of two halves for a lot of different teams, bro.
Right. Forgive me, I'm getting some better lighting in here.
There you go.
So, yeah, man. I mean, you had teams that were expected to take off and do things. They had that name recognition. Kind of the thing that was triggering the off-season talk. The acquisitions and all the big names that came into the league. You had a bunch of that, and then you had the homegrown boys, right? The Granite State Sticks, and then you had the teams that were kind of half and half, with Massachusetts Maulers with some national names and then some homegrown guys.
Right.
But majority of the Mass Maulers I would consider national or at least regional guys, right? Indianapolis Knights are a mix, between the two, and it was a good talking point in the offseason. What's the winning formula? And I think the winning formula is a good mix. You got to have a good mix of guys that are dedicated, guys that are go-getters for the league. They're there, they're ready, they know their home waters. They might not be the big name, but I think you need that. But then you also, for your traveling games, you need guys that maybe have been to these bodies of water, or guys that are really good at breaking down new bodies of water. And I think that this year the winning mixture is a little bit of both.
I can't agree more, man. Like you said, I think if you look at these guys and the teams that represent the Final Four, I mean, the big thing I see is these guys catch bags where they're at. I mean, they just catch a bag, and wherever they, end up is where they end up, but they're always catching limits, man. You know what I mean? And, you got some very talented guys either way. You've got, deep water guys, you got shallow water guys, you got river guys. And again, like you said, some of these teams are filled with, pretty big names, but some of them are not, man. I look at the Virginia Reapers, man. This team is not filled with your quote unquote high end names, but man, they are a good mix. They travel well. They break bodies of water down very, very well. Obviously, you have the Maulers that have a bit bigger name, that are obviously well traveled. fishermen. It's going to be very interesting to see. Obviously, the Indianapolis Knights are stacked as well with some pretty big names. And then, of course, Kusa, man. I mean, Kusa defended well, but more importantly, Kusa also traveled well this year, man. And a lot of their guys, again, there's a couple, 2 big wins I saw that Kusa made on the road that made their season, man. Number one was obviously when they beat the Slayers at Seminole. That was a big win, man. That was a huge win, on that body of water. Because I mean, the Slayers are very, very good. And then when they went down to Florida and beat the Copperheads at Okeechobee, man, I mean, that to me, shows. I mean, again, they only sent 3 guys, down there, and taking that victory, I think, set them up obviously for this playoff run, and having to host, is certainly advantageous for them, man. So, yeah, it's been awesome. It's been awesome to see, man. This Final Four is well deserved.
I mean, if you look at Kusa, Jordan Marshall, Coley McGowan, Lance Coley, there's guys that you've heard in Hobie, right? For several years, right? So they got that mix. They had Joe McElroy, Possum Kingdom. You heard that name when he was battling out versus Mark Pendergraph in the TOC championship 2 years ago. I think, the league showed us that a mixture is what you need. And every single one of these teams, I mean, Ryan Sarko's more regional type guy.
Yep.
Maybe those are the guys that, they came on, Justin Curtis came on and said, hey, man, we feel like we're the underdogs, but let us keep that title.
Yep. And they've proved it well, man. I mean, they have.
It's probably against the grain versus the other 3. But they have a little name recognition there. Those guys are well known in the Virginia area. They're more probably regional type names, but I think the winning combo is a mix of, like I said, a mix of both. And I also sent this link out to Mike Fink too. He might be in the background.
Right on, man. Right on. That'll be a lot of fun, man. Let's go over to South Division, Conference. Let's get right off the bat and talk about the Reapers versus the Kingfishers, and then we'll end up with the Maulers versus the Knights. But I got the starters right here, man. The starters were announced over the weekend. Here we go, guys. The Reapers, it's Matt Miller, who I believe is probably their best player this year on that team. Matt Miller, most consistent angler. Kyle Franklin, who's a great river guy, Jeremy Hofstetter, who travels very well, and Scott Deloche, another guy that travels very well. Those 4 are going to Neely Henry to take on the Kingfishers, which is Coley McGowan, Dan Perry, Chuck Wise, and Nick Dyer. Now, one thing about it is you've got Pickwick happen in the same weekend. And so, obviously, some of their guys are not going to be available to fish, but you got Coley, Dan, Chuck, and Nick versus Matt, Kyle, Jeremy, and Scott, man. Talk about it.
Surprising.
I agree. Yeah.
I don't know if maybe Ryan Sarko's just a guy that I've thought of all year to think that he's like a strong backbone for the Reapers.
I would say he would disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think so. I think he would disagree. I think Thornton is good, but I'm telling you, these guys right here for the Reapers are a strong bunch, man. Strong bunch.
Yeah, I mean, you have Lance Coley not there, Joe McElroy not there,
right?
Marshall not there, but
yeah, I mean, all fish and bass, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, you do have other guys that are going to fill the shoes very well on Neely Henry, and you have your ace. You have your ace in the hole. Right, you have Coley McGowan.
Absolutely, put up 170 inches last week by himself.
In all honesty, more weeks than not, it's Coley McGowan versus the other team. And right. I'm not those guys at all. I don't think that in a bad way.
Chuck Wise, though, man, he knows Neely Henry very well as well. I think Chuck Wise shows himself really well.
Thing is, usually Coley McGowan can beat the other team by himself. Is what I mean. That's at that. So. They're on Neely Henry, and they're saying, "Come get it." Our home field is arguably, if not the best, home field advantage in the league.
It is.
And that, even though Indianapolis is still undefeated through 2 years, but they've had a lot more close games.
Correct.
But man, this game is going to be a good one. And Virginia guys, they like the rivers, they like those skinny waters. Just like last week, they were on like the Black River or whatever. Blackwater.
Mm-hmm.
those guys know how to fish that type of stuff. So I think that this is going to be maybe a little closer matchup than a lot of people at home might think. But
Frank, what's up,
What's
bud?
up, guys?
Hey, man, thanks for coming on, bro.
Not a problem, man. How's things been going?
We're just trying to break down this Southern Conference, man. Talk about it.
Come on in. I just want Indiana all the way.
We'll get there. We'll get there. But
as far as the River matchup, I think this is a team that can give Kusa fits. But if I'm a betting man, like we are here at KFL, it's going to be 13.5 to 15.5. And I think I'd take the Reapers in the points.
yeah, I would make it an 18-inch deficit. Obviously the Kingfishers will be favored by 18 is where the line would be, I think. But the Reapers in the points makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, I do think. Mike, man, we're talking about the Kingfishers, man. Coley McGowan, Dan Perry, Chuck Wise, Nick Dyer. They're taking on the Reapers. Matt Miller, Kyle Franklin, Jeremy Hostetter, and Scott Deloche. Those four right there are their best traveling four, I think.
Yeah. I ain't caught up. Where are they fishing at?
They're fishing at Neely Henry.
Neely Henry.
Yeah.
Coosa's home waters, Mike. They're
not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting. It's a river system type deal. It's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna give it to the Kingfishers, man. I think they make it to Chickamauga, and I think they have a great shot of winning it all.
Yeah, I'll go with you guys on that one. I've been a little behind. I've been on night shift.
Oh yeah, man. All right, we got now the matchup, man, out of the North, guys. It is the Maulers versus the Knights. The Maulers have Ken Wood, John Ferreira, Joe Diadio, and Nate Chagnon. Those are the four traveling to Indianapolis, man. They're bass guys. They're largemouth bass guys, man. Ken Wood, John Ferreira, Joe Diadio, and Nate Chagnon. Nate has only fished one event, I think, one or two events this year with Maulers. That one right there is kind of surprising, but hey, he's going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, as far as Nate goes, that's kind of a guy that's, like I think he's only fished one event. He's going to be a key component, but you need Ken Wood just to go out and do what Ken can do. Ken can go out there and catch some 16 inchers on this lake, 16 and a half. So he needs to go out there and they need to get that back. They need to get that limit quick. We've had the north has cooled off tremendously. For those of you that aren't in the north, lows literally in the 40s, and highs in the 60s are going to be regular through this rest of the
bad northeastern this weekend too. So
oh wow,
yeah. Manitou might be stingy, but you got to get them 10 fish before you worry about anything else. Obviously, I mean that's obvious statement right there, but
truth.
That's almost...
Knights lineup just announced here a few minutes ago. Mike Elsey, Jason Cassidy, Chip Romanovich, and Sam Jones.
Mike, you can talk about that because that's the same lineup I think we had, except for we didn't face Elsey, or maybe we did.
Elsey wasn't there.
No, it wasn't Elsey. It was the other guy. But tell you fish Manitou, man. Tell us about what
talk about it, Mike. What you saw?
For some odd reason, I will be going back there to fish. Just to go back there.
So you love the lake, huh?
There's a love-hate relationship there.
Well, talk about the lake itself, man. I mean, those guys don't know Manitou. I mean, talk about what it is. It's how it's structured. And
I stayed north end of the lake, so you got your pockets, you got your ledges, you got your weed lines, and you got your docks. I mean, it's got everything that a bass fisherman wants. It's putting the key pieces together at that point in time where you need to be on that lake. And I don't know where the water temperature is right now, but I know I'd be out off the ledges of the grass,
right,
pushing the grass.
Yeah, I mean, grass is king, right? Grass is key all the time, man. That's what I look for. I mean, that's a great question. I mean, what is going to be the temperatures? What's going to be, like the nor'easter coming in, or cold fronts coming in? What's the water temperature going to be like? And we're right in the heart of this fall transition, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think this transition is one of the hardest that you'll see. But once you get past it and the bait gets pushed up in the creeks and stuff, man, I think it's some of the best fishing in the year. It's an awesome time to fish.
Hands down, fall fishing is my favorite.
I agree,
But
man.
I'm the big river fisherman. I'd rather be chasing the brown fish on moving water.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
But
that's where it's at.
what you're gonna have here, you're gonna have Jason Cassidy probably do what he always does. He's gonna go chase that big bite. So you're gonna send Jason off to to whatever end he goes. Be fair. He's gonna go out and he's gonna chase the big fish, and then all the rest of the three. Did you say Romanovich is fishing it or not?
Romanovich is fishing, yes. Mm-hmm.
Elsie and Jones, they're just gonna do what they do. Sam's gonna be up probably closer to docks. Mike's gonna be out traveling grass lines, and Chip's probably gonna be on the north end doing grass. So I mean, those guys have that lake broke down. They have it like clockwork on what they want to do, where they want to be, when they want to be there.
Going to be the one to watch out for.
What's
I
that?
will say that Chip will be the one to watch out for.
Always, he's always there, man. Always putting up the bag. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He's always just boom, and he catches them in spurts too.
And
yeah,
he's got that place dialed in.
Yeah, I mean, in Indy's place so much. When the bite's not going tough, those guys keep a calm head. We saw that last week. There when Pennsylvania actually came back and took the lead on them there briefly. Isn't that who they played?
Yep.
Yeah, Bronzebacks took a lead at 9 fish to 8 fish.
Right, and it was like going into the last hour.
And Indianapolis, then Mike Elsie caught that fish after he had done nothing all day long, caught a 16 and a half or somewhere around there, and gave them the lead. And then they got that kicker fish, that 10th fish, and they're they're on a bigger bite. And Indianapolis came out with a dub. And if home stays true, we're looking at a Indy Knights versus Coosa Kingfishers final. But if any of these teams can upset anybody, it's the Mass Maulers, dude, because they've already done it they did it last week versus Granite State. When people said no, they've done it for prior weeks just to make the playoff run. People said no. So Mass Maulers are not a team that you can count out. I would look for every reason in the world to try to pick Mass in this game, but it just makes sense to pick the Indianapolis Knights here.
They've never lost ever at home. I mean, that's it. I mean, it's going to be very difficult for the Maulers, to pull this off. But again, if any team can do it, it's going to definitely be the Maulers. Ken Wood, John Ferreira, Joe Diadio, and Nate Chagnon. Guys, I mean, I'm looking at John Ferreira here. I'm looking at John Ferreira in the magical stash, the beautiful playoff mustache he's got going on right now. I look for him to travel very, very well. And absolutely tear it up. So, I mean, pressure's on these guys, man. I'm looking forward to it, but there's any team that's proven over and over and over who can do it. I think the Maulers can. It's going to be close, guys. I think this one's going to be super, super close. I think this comes down to like an inch or two. I really do. Like Sam had said, there was a bigger bite that happened a couple weeks ago. He started out with a 20 and 18 right off the bat. And then I was looking through the day. Once them and the Pennsylvania Bronzebacks were going through the day, really the Indianapolis Knights had a 12-inch lead, basically fish for fish, right? So the same amount of fish, they had a 12-inch lead. So like Todd was talking about, they had the kickers. I think if the Maulers catches the kickers early, pushes the pressure on Indianapolis, maybe get a little spun out a little bit, there. I think the Maulers can absolutely make this a game. 172 and a quarter is the max that has been caught on this body of water. 172 and a quarter. Indianapolis has tied this 3 times is the maximum. So I think around the 165, 168 number. I don't know if it's going to get to 172 because, again, the transition is going to be a little bit tough, cooler water, cooler weather. But I think 165, 168, somewhere around there is going to be the number that these guys are going to have to hit to win. And I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting though, guys. I think maybe one kicker is going to wind up doing it. And guys, like you said, Jason Cassidy is that guy for the Knights, and I think Joe Diadio is that guy. Is going to be that guy for the Maulers. And look out for that guy, man. Ken's going to catch his fish. John's going to catch his fish, but Joe and Nate's kind of a wild card, man. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how he does. But this is the kind of guy that can come out there and tear it up, man. Be the MVP of the game.
I just wonder if this lake's transitioned over to a crankbait bite yet. If it has, I'm curious to see if the bigger fish bite or if we got a bunch of dinks.
Todd, I don't know, man.
What do you think
I mean,
about
it's a grassy lake, man. I don't know if the grass has died out that quick and gone to the bottom yet. I don't think so.
Well, with the Maulers being up north, they're used to fishing that cold water, and the transition of this type of year, you're right. It's going to be a close game, but I'm still sticking with my boys in Indiana.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. I can't wait to see how this all works out, man. Guys, I gotta ask you a question. Have you guys been getting bombarded by the crap that happened this past weekend from other people asking you about this whole walleye tournament?
Yeah, couple people, but yeah, I don't know who they are. I don't care to know who they are, and I hope they get everything they deserve.
They were on CNN, and CNN made a news article. Did you hear?
They're on Fox News.
Yeah, no,
Fox News.
It says cheating scandal at Ohio tournament rocks competitive fishing world. CNN hopping on that bandwagon. Like,
Guys, first of all, Mike, you know this, man, the old-fashioned way. How did these guys not get their ass beat at the boat ramp?
I had no idea, because if you'd have watched Ike live last night, Brian, I think his name is, it's always up there on the mic, running the background in there. He said they should have just turned the cameras off. Let them leave with a couple broken noses, a couple black eyes that don't hurt him. That really hurt their ego, but yeah, they needed it. I agree 100%. I don't know what. It'd have been hard to not just walk right up and just cold cock them right square in the mouth.
I guess it kind of brings up the question, gentlemen. I mean, these guys have been known to win over and over and over again in this trail series. We've all seen it. We've all seen it.
$8,000 last year.
We've all seen it, man. If it's too good to be true, it usually is, man.
Yeah.
And it brings up a lot of questions, man. A lot of questions. I mean, from the walleye tournaments to the professional bass boat tournaments to even kayak tournaments, man. It certainly gets you thinking, man. Like, there's something going on, you know?
Don't do it. Don't
I'm
walk
telling
down that hole.
I'm telling you guys. I mean, it's. I took a lot of questions, man. It's like, oh, this is what you guys are about. I mean, unfortunately, they put us into a bad predicament, and they make us all look bad. You know what I mean? You know, when they think about fishing and they think, you know, I'm talking about the general public thinks about fishing and stuff like this. You know, they're like, oh my God, you know, it's all nothing but cheating and all this other stuff. That's not true.
Yeah, it's all the negative. They don't ever show nothing good about it.
Exactly.
And that's the part that everybody misses is what's good.
Right. The camaraderie, the fellowship, the business aspect of it, the innovation that occurs. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And, you know, that's a big thing that, we just got to keep doing. We just got to keep displaying, who we really are, and not some low life piece of like them guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad. I mean, like I said, I'll have to give the tournament director credit, and I think he's supposed to go live here. Yeah, I think he's supposed to go live here at about 9:00. But
on Ike, he was live. Ike had him live last night on Ike.
Oh, he did. Okay, I'm gonna go check that out.
Yeah, check that out.
Yeah, I have to check it out. But he had an official statement. I want to hear what happened, man. But it's so hard to run tournaments, man. But man, dude, when you have guys coming in 33 pounds and it's about like 6 or 7 pounds away from the average, you know something's going on, man. You know what I mean? This is crazy.
Like one fisherman in the background said, my fish are bigger than his, and his weighs more than mine.
Yeah,
He said that's wrong. Just how's that even possible?
correct. 33 pounds of walleye.
We all look at fish constantly. We can pretty much say an 18-incher is close to 4 pounds, 3.5, 4 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, we do this enough. You can look and see if it's right or wrong.
Guys,
And
what can we do as kayak fishermen to help clean up the sport, though?
I told them to get catch boards.
What is it?
I told them to get catch boards.
Catch boards.
I think Chad
Picture release. Let it go.
I think Chad Hoover, not to bring up Chad because it's controversial, but I think that he brings up some good points sometimes. He has some valid points, and I think that if you can go to a national judging system, right, to where everybody can adopt, like, all right, such and such company is going to judge all the fish in every single tournament, and you have the same type of eyes that are critiquing the same type of fish all across the board everywhere you go on. I'm talking national here. I think that's a great first step. Secondly,
centralized judging.
Yeah. Secondly, I think that we've kind of come together since Flexgate, right? And we adopted the catch board. I think to sturdy on that, or to make it even stronger, would be to go all metal catch boards. The carbonate is still flexible, so you go all metal catch, and I think you go hands off of fish on pictures.
I like the hands off rule, man. I know it's tough with smallies. I know it's tough.
Fish. Every time I take a picture with my hand on it, and then I get a quick picture without my hand on it. Every picture that I take of a fish is with my hand on it and my hand off of it.
I like it.
But I would like to see AJ, you, Chad, and whoever the next bass guy is, we'll call him Steve O. Maybe possibly. And let's say they all get together, and you guys, we have a recognized set of rules that are a standard across all formats. Now, of course, launching this, that, and the other, the petty rules and things like that can be differentiated from length, all that. But I'm talking about mouth open, mouth closed, hands on fish, hands off fish. Do you want a photo release of the fish swimming off like Chad's pushing for? Do you just want it to just be standard? And I also think one tournament management system.
I agreed 100%, Nick.
I don't know if there has to be a Fishing Chaos and Attorney X. I think that the national tournament trails, could all choose that, and I think that would unify us in some type of way as kayak anglers, to a unified, scoring system.
I don't think that ever come to fruition, because then you eliminate, the need for capitalism. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but
Attorney X thing, X that comment off. You can keep it the way it is. But I'm saying, as far as coming together with such and such judges fish, and everybody adopts that.
So Kenwood said this: disallowing hands-on fish would result in a lot of dead fish. I'm not sure what he means by that.
Them beating their brains out in the bottom of your boat.
Oh yeah, beating them up. Okay. Yeah.
Say you will sit on that board one way or another.
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, like, that's how I take photos like that all the time. But I've got my board angled down, with kind of, with a deeper kayak, and I mean, like Mike said, I take a picture with the hands, and this is smallmouth fishing too. Hands on, snap, hands off, real quick, snap, and then I try to take the best pictures possible. So, I mean, yeah, smallies are tough, but it can be done.
13-inch fish and smallies are
I see what Ken's saying.
There's a lot of truth to that too. I mean, there is a lot of truth to that. I mean, but there's a lot of there's a lot of debate too. We actually had situations here, even in the playoffs, with hand placement. Like it's hand placement can be, and again, like we proved, technology in itself can deceive a judge of where that hand placement is, like if it's under the gill plate or not, or up and around the fins and stuff. I mean, it can be tough, man.
It sucks the way that some anglers, I've done it before. Okay, I am some angler, right?
Yep.
But the way that you are willing to leave a judgment up to the tournament director or up to the judge,
Yeah.
when you take it out of their hands and make sure you get it. A lot of people are kind of, I don't know if it's reckless is the word or careless, but man, you want to keep your hand at least. You got to have visible between the gill plate there, and then and with the tail thing, that's, I think that either can touch the flesh or you can't. I mean, I don't see an issue with it. I don't know.
What do you think about Chad's idea about going back a couple years ago at Gunnersville about taking a video, like a short clip video of the actual fish,
Several of them. I got several of them
and the measurement and everything else, and then putting it on. I mean, I think technology is so where you can actually clip it, in your photos and then send it on to a judging system, and then again holding it's alive and putting it down, and then taking a video of it, completely relaxed, and then that way it's nothing's blurry, nothing. The hand placement is where it's at, and then I think that might be a way again in the future. People kind of shot it down early, but I mean, my God, people take TikTok videos, shorties, with shorts with YouTube. I mean, these guys are always videoing regardless. I mean, taking a video is no big deal anymore, right? Rather than taking photos,
Yeah.
But videos have to start having EXIF data on it. That's the thing.
And instead of catch photo release, it's catch video release, right? It's a 10-second clip of the fish laying on the board at a certain measurement. You pick the fish up off the board, release it into the water. Now, that's what Chad's pushing, and that's what's that happens at the national championship this year. If you're in it for KBF, it is a video release. If you get challenged on a fish and you cannot produce the video, it's a DQ of the fish, if I'm not mistaken. Chad's pushing for it, and we're going to see how it works here with 250 some odd anglers down in Kentucky.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes out. There's no doubt about it. Well, guys, Mike, let's get your picks, and we're getting ready to get out of here, man. I know it's going to be a short show tonight, but Mike, let's get your pick. Who's going to take Indianapolis or Maulers?
I'm going with my boys, Indianapolis.
Okay, Indianapolis.
All the way to the championship.
Wow, good deal. Todd, who do you got?
I like being a grain a lot. I like to be the controversial pick.
Well. Just in time to almost be done with the show. What's going on, Siddiqui?
Controversial.
Would you expect anything else?
Not really, man. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Run around doing stuff. I got some Dakota lithium batteries. I was working on getting set up for a power station in my truck for when I'm sleeping in there and stuff that they sent me. So
nice
stuff like that.
Siddiqui, we were just talking about what's your opinion about maybe possibly, because we were talking about the whole walleye situation going on.
Yeah, I don't know them. Everybody and their brother has called me to ask if I know them.
I know, trust me, I know all about it, man.
Yeah, I'm from Ohio. Okay, I get it. And I fish. I don't know who they are.
I know, I get it, man. I get it. So we were talking about basically, obviously, the kayak, trying to play the kayak angling portion of it, but we were talking about possibly using like video release, right? Videotaping and then video release and stuff like that to help eliminate any kind of question for dead fish or mishandling a fish, and then hand placement, all that stuff. What's your thoughts on going from photo to video?
Yeah, I mean, Chad tried to introduce something like that at the national championship last year. I didn't see a problem with it, except for I'm so used to doing my whole routine that I forgot to do videos on a couple fish, but it's only for fish that come into question, really. So I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. it's definitely one way to help eliminate some cheating. I was fishing down in Arkansas for a monthly the other night, and I caught a 21-inch bass, and I took a picture of it, and then the next picture, the flash came on, and took a picture with the flash, and I swear the fish looked like two different fish, and I was like, geez, like if somebody posted a picture of a fish and then one with the flash on, they look like completely different fish. I doubt anybody would even catch it. So it was just another thing that I noticed that it kind of worried me when I saw it. So yeah, I think we need to do everything we can to try to eliminate any kind of cheating, because people are gonna do stuff like that. People are
Okay.
gonna.
Ask them about scoring. Adopting like a universal scoring.
Yeah, I mean, so Todd had brought up Eric about basically going to a universal or a centralized judging platform, right? With either Attorney X or Fishing Chaos and all the national events getting together, with Hobie, Bass, KFL, KBBT, and then KBF and whoever does the national stuff, right? All coming together and having like a national place to where you have one platform and one set of judges and everybody submits their fish to that way you have consistency in judging throughout. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I know some of these tournament series, they like to kind of do their own thing. So I
Yeah,
don't know if they'd all be willing to do that.
I don't think so. I think that's the
You know,
problem.
yeah,
They would have to
yeah,
agree to use one platform or another, and then obviously, I mean, I don't think that. I think the judging is key because first of all, it allows TDs to go without hesitation and without question to go fishing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of work that has to be done behind the scenes, and then there's always the crying people like, oh well, you have all the waypoints. I mean, come on, man.
right,
You hear it all. You know what I mean?
right, right. I mean, I don't know. We've done this for so long; it almost feels like every question should have been asked and answered at this point. But it still happens, all the time. Like for example, I was fishing the Hobie event on Dardanelle, and I always considered, if you drove through private land to get to a public launch area, it wasn't okay to launch there, right?
Right.
Um, so there was something that came up to question with that, and I reached out to AJ and asked him about it, and I was like, it's not, you know, I, it's a public launch area. It's a public area where you should be able to launch, but you have to drive through public or private land to get there. It's not specifically stated in the rules that that's okay. I've always considered it not to be okay. So I've always, wrote all those places off, but I know people are launching there. So what's the rule on that? And, he couldn't give me an answer. He said, there's a lot of things that need to be looked at. Well, that's something we're going to address. And certain launches are going to be illegal in the future and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I always thought driving through private land to get to a public launch would be not okay. So I wrote all those places off. But then, there's so many. If there's not,
It's gray
if it's
areas,
not
man.
stated, if it's not cut and dried in the
Right.
rules, then you know what I mean. Then it's just okay to do, I guess. But I've never really felt like that for a lot of things. So,
There's
but apparently that's
there's
really how it is.
the cinematic anglers like to push gray areas, right?
Right.
Oh, there's not a rule on it. You can't show me a rule on it. So what rule did I break, right?
Right.
How about everybody, and it's going to upset some people, but what about if every tournament series say these are the launches inbounds, use them or lose, and no other place to launch? Is that the way to fix that?
Yeah. I mean, that's I'm sure something that Hobie's looking into. It seems like they've got to the point where they've kind of cut off launch areas and places where you can launch like every year. To the point, like for example, like creeks, you can't launch past this launch point. You could fish past there, but you can't launch past there. So that's one of the things they've done. So yeah, I could see them just saying like these are the 10 launches. Go for it. And you can't launch anywhere else. Just because I know all the crap that tournament directors have to deal with, and it's a lot already. So to cut down on that, I'm sure is something
So,
that we could
so
like.
can I ask you this? How about this? I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but because of how kayaks are now basically boats, right? Why not do shotgun starts and I mean, at one designated launch, and have shotgun starts, man.
So,
And I mean, these kayaks can go, dude. These kayaks can go like 20 miles.
but if you do that, then you have to have like staggered starts, Greg, and staggered end times.
Okay.
Allow for more than 20 to 30 people to launch at a time.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean
that's what bass
with
boats do.
motors, you're gonna have to make the rule, that you can't kick on your motor till a certain point, or something like that.
Then you're gonna have people say, "Well, I never get stage A. I always get stage B or D, and I get people beat me to my spot."
People are
It's
gonna
the luck of the
complain
draw,
about
man.
what
But on these 2-day events, you flip flop.
I know. I'm just bringing up questions. I'm playing devil's advocate.
I think it would be fun. I mean, honest with you.
I mean, like the Crossroads was a shotgun start. That was fun. I always had fun at that tournament. Same with the Hobie Worlds are always a shotgun start. It's add something fun to it. I mean, I'm not on see every tournament series going to that, but it'd be.
No, I don't think every
tournament.
Tournament.
I would love to see some more tournaments with a shotgun start. They pretty much could have done one at Broken Bow. You know what I mean? Because there's not that many launches to begin with, so why not just Crossroads? There was 2. I think the second one there was 2 possible launches or something, so they had shotgun starts from different launches. Something like that.
We had a TD at one boat ramp, a TD at the other. We played the national anthem through the speakers, and then after that it was a shotgun. So you could actually host multiple location shotgun starts on lakes.
And you just get to pick and choose which one you want to go to, like a north end or south end. Yeah.
That could definitely be something that could definitely be worked in. That would be it would add a ton of excitement, and the sponsors would love it. I mean, you get all the drone footage of everybody taking off at the beginning, and all the picture opportunities, the interview possibilities, where you have all these anglers to pick and choose from. I see a lot of positives to something like that.
No, I agree, man. I agree. Yeah, I mean that would be very. I mean, lot of innovation that could go on. I mean, look, we have to learn through this, man. Take other people's mistakes and other people's successes and bring it to our own. I mean, that's what makes.
You can only paddle for 50 yards, and then you can turn your motors on.
The thing is there is a split in the kayak fishing community on certain people worry about what certain anglers have possibly done, right? And then you don't have to worry about that anymore, because you don't worry about if X dude launched from a legal launch. You'll see that dude at the launch and know that he didn't, right? So it takes that away of, oh, is this guy going too far up this creek, or is he even portaging, or what's he? I never even seen him through the whole tournament. You'll never have that issue because everybody will see everybody at a time.
Right. I mean, I like that idea, but I also feel like, one of the things about kayak fishing is being able to find those little launches and those cool little places to put in, and get closer to what area you want to fish and stuff. So it sucks having to take that away. But
what you'll have then is you'll have anglers following other anglers that didn't find their own fish, that just say, I'm just going to coattail this dude all day 40 yards behind him, see if he even notices, and see if I can't pick up fish that he misses and into a paycheck.
That happens anyways.
Huh?
That happens anyway.
I know.
If Eric's deep water, I'm out on the
I agree with that, Dan, wholeheartedly. Yep, it's exactly right. Yep. Yeah, I mean, and right. I mean, that's what's great about kayak fishing, because kayak fishing allows you to go into places that boats can't, right? And in skinnier waters, and find those, like you talk about, those primitive ramps and things like that. That is what's great about it. Like I was thinking, you go to Harris Chain, you go to some of the northern lakes up there, man. You find these primitive ramps that are just ridiculous. There's no boat going to get in it, but it's like a gator slide, you know what I mean? And you throw your kayak in there, and you park side of the road, and boom, it's a legal launch. I mean, it's a public launch there,
And it's one of my favorite things about fishing all the lakes on the Tennessee River chain because, you know, a lot of that land around the lake is TVA owned. So if there's a road that goes there, then you could pretty much launch
Correct.
anywhere there. So,
Or you can launch in any WMA area. I mean, if you're in a WMA, you can launch from any point on the WMA.
Right.
Which is
so that's cool.
Pretty sick.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah, it is. It does make it cool. Well, guys, let's make our picks, man. Let's end this show. Mike, you picked Indianapolis against the Maulers. Sadiki, who you got, man? Indianapolis or the Maulers?
I'll take Indy because they whooped our butts on their home lake, so I'll take Indy.
Okay, Todd.
Indy will probably be happy because I don't pick Indy a lot. I'm gonna go with Massachusetts Maulers. I almost feel like it's destined. The way that if the season's ended for them. I'm gonna go Maulers.
Wow. It's literally coin flip. I think it comes down to an inch or two. I think it's going to be, it's just going to be one of those games. By the numbers, I can't go against Indianapolis at home. They've never lost ever. So for that being said, I'm going to go Indianapolis because they've never lost. But if any team that can do it, it's going to be the Maulers. But I'm going to go Indianapolis by like an inch or two. That's it. It's going to be fun. All right, Fink, we've got Coosa versus Virginia, and this is at Neely Henry. Who do you got?
I guess I got to go with where I used to live. I'm going to have to go with Virginia.
Oh, wow. Let's go.
I'm going to go with Virginia.
All right, man. All right. Siddiqui.
I thought the Kingfishers was going to be the toughest team for us to beat all year. So, I got to go with Coosa.
Right on.
I'm going to take Coosa. I think that it has the opportunity to be close, but I also think that it has an opportunity to blow out. And I think that they could win pretty substantially. I'd say 14-16.
Wow. Yeah. My heart says Virginia. Obviously, I'm rooting for my guys here in Virginia. But at the end of the day, look, man, Coosa's just been a machine. Again, another team that's almost impossible to beat at home. That's the importance of having home field advantage. So I'm going to go Coosa here. I think we see a Coosa Indianapolis finale at Chickamauga, and it's going to be a humdinger, man. I mean, regardless, it's going to be fun.
I think Coosa, Mass Maulers, and I think it's basically. I think that'd be a coin flip because I'd say it'd be Jordan Marshall, Coley McGowan, Lance Coley, and Joe McElroy versus Brundle, Conant, Ferreira, and Wood.
Like we saw last year. Yeah.
And my God, dude.
That would be a freaking coin flip.
Yeah, I think Jordan
Coosa's going to be tough to beat on Chick.
Yeah, Jordan Marshall will be your ace in the hole there at Chick.
Right on. Siddiqui, man, you going to Pickwick, man?
I am, yeah.
Talk about it, man.
To go. Yeah.
Talk about it. Talk about that tournament, man.
Man, I love Pickwick. That's really where I cut my teeth. Is where I really taught myself to bass fish and fell in love with it and everything. So I love going to Pickwick. Pickwick, I can't wait to go back. And it's out of Counts, which is close to where a lot of my family are from in Corinth, Mississippi. So that's always fun. And it's like a home away from home for me. So I'm looking forward to that one. If there's a home lake for me, it's Pickwick.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to Pickwick.
Hey, a couple things. Don't forget, this Friday night is the last night to vote for the best beards. Go to Three Bells. Go to also we shared it on the KFL Facebook page. Also go to Peggy Carter's Facebook page as well. They all have it. Voting is ending Friday for the best beards. And get yourself some Three Bells coffee, man. I cracked open some Three Bells coffee today. They sent me some. Now, I owned a coffee shop, man. And I know coffee. I'm a coffee nut. It was pretty damn good, man. So get yourself some Three Bells coffee.
I love me some coffee. I used to work at a coffee shop.
There you go.
Boys, the Three Bells, I think it's the morning something. I don't know what it's called. It's good, though. My mom likes it.
Right on. It was delicious. Well, boys, enjoyed the night, man. Thanks for guys coming on. Eric, good luck, man, this weekend
Yep.
at Pickwick, man.
I wish
Yeah,
I
hey.
could.
Who day?
Who dat, baby?
I'll say this. Meow, meow. They suck. They can't even freaking pass. They suck so bad. But I love them. I love my Bears, man.
Yeah.
I love them.
Little Chicago Cubs instead of the Bears.
Yeah, they suck so bad. But it's all right. It's all good, man. Hey, guys. We
All
are
right,
out
guys.
of here, man.
Lines, everybody be safe.
Everybody be safe. Exactly. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on. Take care. Have a good night.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Later.